everyone, this is Cameron's on, and here we are playing Beaconpines again. Now, if you remember last time, we made it to the phone booth, and then we got to this creepy door, and then we had like a conversation with Mr. Nuncreed, and then he learned about how Juniper is like involved, and he kind of just ran away, so we're gonna chase after him and see what happens, because I am quite curious to see what is about to happen. Like I said before, I'll include a link to the game down in the description below if you guys want to check it out. So, let's get started.
Beck leapt up, allowing the suction to yank her into the dark. Dimness eclipsed around her like the shutter of a camera as she seemed to cover great distance in mere moments.
Huh, wow.
Her only points of reference were glints of upcoming turns, which approached with frightening speed, only to carom her gracefully along. She heard the tinny, distant echoes of Rollo's glee. Once she stopped fighting against it, the ride was impossibly smooth.
Huh.
Then, all of a sudden, as if minutes had passed in an instant, light blazed into view.
Oh, you know, this is the route where we haven't gone to the original Beaconpines.
A burst of wintry air snuffed across her face, and she was flung out into the cold.
So this is completely new to us, because when we were in the icy place, that was when we were with Iggy. Oh, so that's what the manhole cover is. Huh. That was intense? Yeah. Huh, I think I might have parted with some fluids in there. Any idea where we are? Somewhere cold. Doesn't look like it got on any of us. Oh my god, freaking Rollo, man. It didn't feel like we traveled that far. So where did it all go? This place sucks. Why would anyone even want to blow something up out here? Only one way to find out, I suppose. We've got to catch up with Nuncreed. I think he went this way. Nuncreed just went straight up out there, because he's supposed to be wearing a hazmat suit in this place. Also, I know he's worried about Juniper, but she's not doing it yet, right? I mean, like, doesn't it happen, like, during the festival? Today's not the festival. It's also nighttime. This looks familiar, yeah. Maybe we can clear off the snow. No time, Nuncreed's getting away. Well, this definitely feels like another ending. 'Cause we're just wandering over here, not even knowing where we are. Okay, this is starting to feel really familiar. I may not be the most well-versed on all things Beaconpines, but it does kind of look like the frozen replica of the town. Ah, I got it. It's so obvious now. Mr. Nuncreed is an alien. Yep, that's totally the correct answer, Rollo. Rollo, stick with me here. This species can only live in sub-zero temperatures. Oh boy, here we go. Then how does he live on Beaconpines then? The source is their basement dimension, so naturally they keep it cold. We found it by traveling through a metallic wormhole back there. Yeah, that was not a wormhole, buddy. That was just a tunnel. The final objective, kill us all and shapeshift into a Beaconpine citizen of their choosing. Oddly enough, he's not completely off, just in the sense of, like, you know, shape-shifting and, you know, a replica. Yeah, you never really had me. But you very much lost me there. You get used to it. We should keep moving.
As they rounded the corner to the frozen town square, they spotted Mr. Nuncreed inching cautiously toward a pit at its center. He held his arms out gingerly, as if approaching a beast in the wild. Upon closing the distance, Luca recognized what Nuncreed was after. Gran stood confidently at the edge, one arm outstretched over the abyss.
Sorry, Gran, as much as I like you, or I don't know if I do like you, but this is a bad move.
Nearby, a wheelbarrow had been emptied out. She held a lit torch, which flickered in the bitter wind.
Juniper, I don't know what you think you're doing, but I assure you this is not going to solve anything. If you drop that, you've doomed this whole town. Oh, it wasn't me who doomed the town. I've been watching you, Joseph. I know what you have done. You and your co-conspirators. Gran? What's happening? Luca, you and your friends need to leave right this moment.
Mr. Nuncreed turned back toward the kids, desperation in his eyes.
Listen to your grandma, Luca. This is between me and Juniper. Well, unfortunately, if this blows up, it affects the other town as well.
Rollowenbeck held steadfast in awe. Luca approached closer. Mr. Nuncreed spun back toward Gran, his voice growing louder.
You've got it all wrong, Juniper. Just hand over that torch. You don't understand what you're doing. How could I possibly trust you to do the right thing? Walt told me everything. He trusted you and you betrayed that trust. Luca, did you know that this man's entire life is a lie? If it weren't for him, your father might still be alive. No, I don't think that's not really true.
Mr. Nuncreed winced with anguish. His voice hardened.
That is not true.
They both now yelled, not to each other, but at fate itself, making their peace with long-held burdens. The wind howled with encouragement.
Oh god. Walt was like a brother to me. We just had different ideas about how to effect change. Very convenient that your way just happened to line your pockets. Now, that is just not fair.
They glanced at each other, both catching their breath. The moment balanced on a knife's edge.
Oh my god.
Amid a blur of emotions and memories, Luca's mind flooded with questions. The wind calmed, as if to give him the stage.
Oh my. And in the stillness, he began to weep or hum. Maybe let's try weep. I'm kind of curious what that would do.
And in the stillness, he began to weep. It was all just too much. Falling to his knees, Luca whimpered softly. The tears crystallized as they hit the snow. Gran stared at Luca for a moment with warm sympathy, remembering why this was all necessary.
Oh crap, I think the reaction I chose just ended us all. This will all make sense soon, Luca. Then everything can go back to normal. I don't know what exactly your plan is, especially since you're just gonna blow up the hole. I don't know what you thought was gonna happen. I promise.
She stiffened up and brandished the torch at Mr. Nuncreed.
You can't hide behind people any longer, Joseph. Once their precious source is destroyed, we'll see where their loyalties fall. So I think in the other route, it was like a specific amount of firepower that kind of closed the hole and possibly made it better. Maybe temporarily at least, it's hard to tell. But in this case, it's not calculated. She basically did a bunch of barrels, probably. And that's probably not a good idea. Juniper, don't.
Ignoring his final plea, Gran flung the torch into the deep darkness.
Well, we're screwed. I think just in general, the hole is kind of unpredictable.
She smiled and exhaled in relief. Mr. Nuncreed moaned in resignation.
Well, we're screwed. It didn't really matter what distance we had to be for this to happen, because we still would have been frozen over.
The torch echoed as it ricocheted down the hole, punctuated with a thunderous thud.
Maybe I should have hummed. I'm kind of curious what that would do. You see, Joseph, I've learned one very important lesson in life. If you want things to change, then you must be willing to...
Before Gran could finish, the ground shook her to silence.
Yeah. Yep, I doomed us all. I weeped and then I made her want to do the decision even more.
Time to spin around and run to Luca. Her attempt to shield him, an honorable but trifling act.
That's heartbreaking.
Unflinching love, pitted against an unthinking horror, there was no contest. Her warm embrace froze in an instant.
Well, damn.
That is where they remain, fixed in place, forever.
Well, god damn it. You know, just because Gran loved us, it doesn't necessarily mean that she knows what's best. especially in this case.
And so, our story ends on this melancholy scene. In a town brought low by its secrets sits the frozen statues of a misguided band of meddlers. The end.
Oh crap.
Well, that was dire.
Yeah.
On the bright side, we finally figured out where all the ice is coming from.
I mean, we knew from the other routes.
We just need to find a way to deal with a mystic, unfathomable force of nature.
Okay then, Fire and Ice. I gotta say, the different like endings and stuff, I really like the art for each one. They look really cool. So let's try this again, and I want to see what happens if we hum, because I don't really know.
And in the stillness, he began to hum. After the death of his father, Luca had trouble sleeping. Each night, his mother would sit at the foot of his bed and hum a gentle melody.
I'm kind of curious because I feel like this is going to be a different route just because it's a different option. But I also kind of feel like this is the same result. If she recognizes that song, then she's like, ah yes, family is first, and then she freaking kills us all.
It was the only thing that could calm his mind. The only thing that, however briefly, could make it all seem okay. That melody pervaded every memory Luca had of his mother. Shivering in the raw snow, he began to hum it out loud.
Huh. It sounds lovely.
Gran lowered the torch, listening closely. As recognition slowly set in, her heart sank. Those countless nights of consolation, the incomparable loss they shared together. She let the torch fall to the snow and sizzle out.
Oh, well, this is different.
A few steps toward Luca was all she could bear before dropping to the snow herself. Through a flood of tears, she began to hum along, note for note.
Also, I love the singing. It's quite lovely. Aw, you get to hear them singing together. It's beautiful.
Luca lifted his head in astonishment. The last time he heard that melody was the last night he saw his mother.
How do you know? I'm so sorry, my little buckaroo. Buckaroo? The only people who call me that are my dad and... your mother?
Luca blinked through blurry, watery eyes, trying to see more clearly.
Wait, what?
He could just make out the impression of a familiar face. He peered across the snowscape at the woman on her knees.
What? Oh! What the hell?
Something about her was undeniably his mother. Only smaller, older, changed.
What the hell? I'm so... Wait, that's his mom? Wait, did she get exposed to the goo somehow? Because I do remember when the goo touched, Beck, it changed her hair to gray? I don't know, this is so crazy. Mom? That's right, Buckaroo. Mom?
Luca sprinted as fast fast as he could toward his mother.
What the fuck?
They held each other close, and the cold retreated from their bodies.
You know what I just realized? I think this is something we should have known before. Cause Juniper said that she has been observing Nuncreed for a while. It would make more sense if it was the wife of Walt. Eleanor? I thought you were gone. You should have known I would never abandon my son.
Eleanor looked down at Luca, tightening her embrace in an appeal for forgiveness.
How? You're a smart man, Joseph. I thought you would have pieced it together by now. You were exposed. Mom, I don't understand any of this. What happened to you? Where did you go? Why did you leave me? I never left you. I was always right here, Luca. Why did you lie to me? It tore me up, Luca, but I did it to keep you safe. I thought that getting answers would help us both move on. But the more I discovered, the more I realized the danger we were in. Until perennial harvest was stopped, it was better if everyone thought I was gone. You could have trusted me. These are bad people, Luca. They won't stop until they get what they want. And they don't care who gets hurt in the process. Then, what do? We have to stop them.
Joseph slumped into the cold, wet snow.
They can't be stopped. This is too big. I tried beating them at their own game. I'm done fighting fire with fire.
For the first time in a long time, her voice felt like her own again.
No more lies. I see now that there's a better way to stop the perennial harvest. Oh my god. The cold, hard truth.
Luca gazed down at Nuncreed with pity. He looked small. Joseph stared into the snow, as if searching it for answers.
Come on, everyone. We've got a party to crash. What the hell? What? You don't understand. He always wins. This is honestly really crazy. I still can't get over the fact that that's actually his mother.
Chapter 9. The Devil You Know.
Wait, the devil you know? What do you mean by that exactly? Also, I want to talk about the fact... Oh, that reveal was... insane! It was insane! That was his mother the entire time! It makes so much more sense now. The part about the obituary about the grandmother. Oh my god.
7 months ago.
7 months ago? What?
Eleanor Van Horn crept down the maze of sterile hallways under perennial harvest. She stopped in front of the large steel door marked Deep Engineering.
Ah, right.
Turning back now, she raised a trembling hand. The stolen keycard worked as promised, and the door buzzed open with mechanical efficiency. She was immediately hit with the smell of disinfectant.
The devil you know.
It was some sort of laboratory. In one corner was a desk covered in papers. Across the room stood a tall metal pod with hoses protruding from its base.
I don't know what to think of this. Maybe it's possible. Maybe she is the one who killed that guy who had the name tag of Deep Engineering. Because I do remember that the hand seemed rather decomposed. But this was 7 months ago, so I don't know.
She rushed to the desk and began shifting through the piles of papers. They were experiment reports on something called Tempus liquamen.
Ah, right, that's the material.
There were dozens of them. Every one stamped failed.
Huh.
Eleanor heard the sharp echo of footsteps approaching. She was out of time. Her eyes scanned the room, eventually landing on the strange pod. Muttering a curse under her breath, she dashed over and dove inside.
Oh boy, that's probably not good. Wait, don't do this to us. I want to see what happened. Well, maybe that's how she aged. I don't know. And this is what change is all about. Oh, this is that stupid speech that I read last time. Also, can we talk about how the goo is a little bit strange though? Because it seems to age people, but it also seems to deform their faces like Iggy, so it seems rather inconsistent. But whatever, we're just gonna keep going. Grabbing the future by the scruff of the neck and making things happen. So how are we doing this exactly? Change is a choice. I am tickled pink that we'll be able to make that choice together. How great is that? Oh, so this was during the Harvest Festival. This man is a liar. Excuse me? I will not. This town has a dangerous secret and the perennial harvest only exists to keep it hidden. Okay, so I'm so sorry to do this to you guys, but we are actually out of time. And I know I'm leaving it on a cliffhanger, but I have a feeling this is going to be a pretty long ending. And I want to be able to read through all of it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this series as much as I have, because honestly, all of this is quite insane. I still can't get over the fact that that's our mother. And there's just so many things going on. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope all of you have a blessed day. Goodbye!